सेव किया था ना?
मैं सिर्फ इसलिए गया था क्योंकि उसने मुझे कॉल किया, that's it. But listen तो.
Save it for someone else.
जिंदगी में सेव करना जरूरी है, मगर जब बात पैसों की हो, सिर्फ सेविंग से काम नहीं चलेगा। इक्विटी म्यूचुअल फंड्स में इन्वेस्ट कीजिए और अपने सेविंग्स को आगे बढ़ने का मौका दीजिए।
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
Now, if I asked you, what is the one thing you find the most boring, the most deadly boring thing about our national politics? Our national politics is usually a lot of fun. I say nothing is more fun and more fair than our politics. But in public discourse, what is it that you find most boring about it? I give you 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds to think. And I'm sure you've come up with the answer already. This is the talk of opposition unity, or worse still, on the boredom index, talk of a third front, right? Because a third front is something that really brings smiles to the faces of the BJP leadership, because any talk of third front and they think that strengthens their case for an even larger majority. At the same time, opposition parties will work together, they will plan together, and that's precisely what they are doing right now. So something very interesting is happening in Indian politics right now. Fascinating. Particularly in our opposition politics. So this is not so much a talk of the third front. In fact, the leader who's pushing generally the idea of unity has himself said the talk of third front is useless. By this time, I'm sure all of your political pundits, you know that we are talking about Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu and DMK Chief Muthuvel Karunanidhi Stalin, MK Stalin. He, on 2nd of March, and that was a public rally to commemorate his birthday, he said the talk of third front is useless, so better not do it. At the same time, he said opposition has to think of uniting to make sure, and he again said the important thing is not to decide or not to reach a conclusion on the basis of who should come to power, but important thing is to find a way of ensuring who should not come to power. What that means is, translated, that the important thing in his worldview right now for national politics is for all parties, all anti-BJP parties, to get together, pool their forces in whatever ways possible and practical to ensure that the BJP does not win in 2024. Whoever wins, because he says BJP is undermining India's democracy, secularism, equality, social justice, etc., etc. So what has he done right now, and why are we talking about this in this episode of Kartak Letter? Because as I'm talking, he's holding in Chennai his conference on social justice. And this is the conference in which at one point it was said that 20 opposition parties will participate. Now one after the other, a few have dropped out that don't particularly have an adversarial relationship with the BJP. They are not with the BJP. They also contest against the BJP in their state, say BJD, Naveen Patnaik's BJD in Odisha, for example. At the same time, they are not really seen as adversaries of the BJP, and vice versa, because in the case of some of them, there might even be an unwritten understanding. You keep the state, we'll take the Lok Sabha seats. A bit like that, not like it used to be between the Congress and the DMK in the past, that was institutionalized, but some of that is there. So some of these parties have dropped out, yet enough opposition parties are attending this conference on social justice. Now, social justice is also something that is an interesting idea, because the BJP's politics, every talk of opposition unity or every talk of making common cause against a dominant national party or government, that needs a glue. So glue in this case is not a left or right ideology. The glue in this case is not secular, non-secular. The glue in this case is, at least the pretense, is larger social justice, which means justice on the basis of faith, no discrimination, but most importantly, caste. That is, for scheduled castes, tribals, backward castes, and so on. And that is how this platform is being built. Now, there are some very interesting parts of this, elements to this new development. First of all, every 10-15 years since 1967. 1967 is very important, and we'll talk about it at some other point of time, but 1967 is one of the key years in Indian politics. That's the year Indian politics took major turns. It was the first election after Nehru. It was the first election in India's history, general election, without Jawaharlal Nehru. The election before that, 1962, Jawaharlal Nehru was still leading the Congress party. 67, his daughter was leading, no Jawaharlal Nehru, and interesting things happened. Congress party got a very low seat number, the lowest until then since 1952 of just 283, and Congress party lost power in many states. What also happened in 1967 was that after the elections, not so much before the elections, also here and there some adjustments were made, but because Congress was seen to be vulnerable, some parties made adjustments in states. But after they got a lot of seats in many states, they got together and they built what was called as Sanyukt Vidhayak Dal. So this was like a post-poll coalition. It came to power in 9 states at that point. It did not survive that long because those parties fought amongst themselves. I will tell you something about this briefly as we go along. But the important thing is that every time an effort is made to get forces together against a dominant force in Delhi, you need a glue. And the glue, in this case, that Stalin has chosen is social justice. And that's why just on the eve of this event, he's been to Kerala. He's addressed a rally along with Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan of the Left Front. And this was to commemorate or maybe kickstart the centenary celebrations of the Vaikom Temple Entry movement. Vaikom Temple Entry movement 99 years ago was a great event in India's history. It's something that we don't know about too much. It arose in Kerala and some great Indians were involved in this, including Narayana Guru, Mahatma Gandhi and Periyar, the Tamil leader. Because Periyar in that era was leading his own social justice movement and what has now become Tamil Nadu, more or less. Mahatma Gandhi was fighting for social justice in his own ways. All three of them in some ways got involved in Vaikom movement. So in fact, if you want to know more about the famous and historic Vaikom Temple Entry movement in Kerala 99 years ago, you can read a 2-part series under our feature Past Forward, written by my colleague Rohan Manoj. I am sharing the links with you. So Stalin landed there, and in Stalin's speech, Vaikom struggle is a beacon and India now needs a unity similar to the unity seen a century ago for social justice. We should all work and stand together because casteist and communal forces are trying to assert themselves. So that is the glue he's trying to use to unite opposition parties, many of whom have serious contradictions amongst themselves. Now, some important facets. First of all, it's the first time in our history that the impetus for opposition unity against a dominant central power has come from a leadership in the South. In the past, it never happened like that. In the past, all such impetus, all such moves came from heartland politicians. That is Charan Singh and Lohia in 1967. That is Jayaprakash Narayan in 1977. That is VP Singh in 1989. Advani, Vajpayee, they put together NDA in 1998. It's the first time that the drive for opposition unity against the force dominating Delhi has come from a southern party and southern leadership. That's Stalin. Whether it succeeds or not, we don't know, but it's an important facet we need to take notice of. Why has it happened? It's also happened, there is a reason. It's happened that it's the first time in India's history that a party is in power in Delhi with a full majority, and this is its second majority, right? Its second tenure with majority. The first time a party is in power in New Delhi with a full majority without dominating the South, right? So whenever the Congress had a full majority in Delhi, it dominated the South. Maybe it didn't have one state, it didn't have Kerala sometimes it didn't have Tamil Nadu, but in Tamil Nadu, it usually had an alliance with the leading or the ruling Dravid party of the day. So Congress party, the only other party to have had majority governments, always had a strong base in the South. In fact, Karnataka, what used to be Andhra, Tamil Nadu in partnership, Kerala, sort of off and on, Congress party had a lot of seats there. It's the first time now that a party is in power in Delhi with very few seats in the south. In fact, out of the 130 seats in the south, in the major states, that is Tamil Nadu, Pondicherry, that is 40, 42 is Andhra, Telangana, 28 in Karnataka, 20 in Kerala. That is 130 seats. The BJP only has 29 seats, 25 in Karnataka, 4 in Telangana. Nothing in Andhra, nothing in Tamil Nadu, nothing in Kerala. So that is the reality of today's politics, and the fact that Stalin is trying to drive this new call for unity is a reflection of this reality. Now, Stalin also has the advantage, Stalin in the DMK, that he rules his state. His rivals live in his state and they are a regional party, that is AIADMK. And also the party that he's trying to get everyone together against, the BJP, that's the junior ally of AIADMK, his main rival in his state. So there is linearity of political alliances and political interests available to him. He does not have any contradiction. So none of the opposition parties who joins in at this conference is at odds with him. In fact, the only other opposition party which has electoral interest in Tamil Nadu, Congress party, is not only his ally, but it's his junior ally and fully dependent on DMK. In fact, without DMK, Congress party will be nothing in Tamil Nadu. Remember that of the small number of seats, it won just about 50 odd. 1/5 came from Tamil Nadu, and those came mainly because of the alliance with the DMK. So it does not have any issue there. Third, he has found an easy solution or easy formula in social justice and federalism, which does not contradict with the essential ideology of any other political party. That said, there are issues. And the issues are that too many opposition parties have trouble amongst themselves. So if you look at Aam Aadmi Party and Congress Party, right? How can they unite when everywhere their interests are clashing? In Delhi, in Punjab, in Gujarat, in Goa, or anywhere else the Congress Party contests now, particularly where it sees a chance of doing well or even defeating the BJP. That includes Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh. Aam Aadmi Party will put up its candidates there because Aam Aadmi Party essentially is a claimant for the Congress Party's vote share. It wants to vacuum clean the Congress Party's vote share, and that's a well-known thing. In fact, if you look at Gujarat, 41% is the vote Congress Party had in the previous election. This time it was down to 28. How many votes, what percentage of votes did the Aam Aadmi Party get? 13%. 28 plus 13 is 41. So basically, they took away 1/3 of Congress Party's vote. Narendra Modi and BJP, on the other hand, went up from 46% to 51%. So Congress Party, Aam Aadmi Party, clashing everywhere. TMC and Congress. TMC and Congress plus left. TMC on one side, Congress plus left. They have a clash in West Bengal. Now, how do you bring them together, although they are attending this social justice meet? So how do you make common cause when your interests clash so sharply in a large state? Then look at Telangana. In Telangana, KCR's party, BRS, what used to be TRS, and Congress, both are rivals. Technically, on paper, even now, Congress is TRS's or BRS's main rival, right? BJP has risen there, but Congress and KCR, how do they come together in Telangana? Andhra, if you look at Andhra, okay. In Andhra, right now, TDP is not that strong, but it is the main opposition. But the Congress party still has claims it's done very badly lately, but it would still see itself as a rival of TDP unless they become partners, which is an outside possibility, because I don't know what TDP would see itself gaining from an alliance with the Congress. Kerala, left and the Congress are mortal enemies. Now again, look at the contradictions that the opposition has to deal with. In Kerala, Congress and the left are mortal enemies. Either Congress comes to power or the left comes to power. On the other hand, in West Bengal, and now we've seen in Tripura, they have common interests. In fact, they fought the Tripura election together this time. So again, that is something to sort out. And if you think this is complicated enough, see what's happened in Little Meghalaya. So on behalf of NPP, the ruling party there, Agatha Sangma, the sister of the Chief Minister, she's attending the conference. While in the state, Congress is her party's rival, but even more fascinatingly, while in the state, BJP is their coalition partner. So there are many contradictions here. Now, if you look at our political history, and I shall tell you this in 2 minutes. If you look at our political history, usually the talk of opposition unity has benefited the government of the day. So 1967, Sanyukt Vidhayak Dal came in, but as the name indicates, Vidhayak means MLA, Member of Legislative Assembly. These were MLAs who got elected on the tickets of various parties, various anti-Congress parties who came together after the election. These were members from Bharatiya Kranti Dal, which Charan Singh had founded. He became briefly Prime Minister of India later. The two socialist parties, SSP, Sanyukt Socialist Party and Praja Socialist Party, Jan Sangh, which is the parent of the BJP. Together they got a bunch of MLAs, then they got together and they set up several state governments which didn't last. In fact, it was that feeling that opposition parties, when they came together, they give you unstable government. That is something that Indira Gandhi rode with great success in 1971 in the midterm election that she offered. In fact, if you want to see what generally the view was about this coalition or opposition unity at that point, please see this cartoon from Kutti. He used to be a great cartoonist of his era, and I have taken these screenshots from an NCERT textbook which is available on internet. So see this cartoon. That was his vision of Charan Singh trying to bring about an opposition unity, and see that signboard. It says, "Keep right, no left turn." That's because Mrs. Gandhi at that point had redefined the Congress party as a purely leftist party in alliance with Communist Party of India. In fact, she had a minority government only sustained in power by the support of the CPI, which was at that point very pro-Soviet Union and pretty much controlled by the Soviet Union or Soviet influence. Nevertheless, 1971, all these opposition parties came together in what was called as Mahagathbandhan or Grand Alliance. And that's when Mrs. Gandhi gave her famous election slogan, वो कहते हैं इंदिरा हटाओ, इंदिरा जी कहते हैं गरीबी हटाओ. They say remove Indira Gandhi. Indira Gandhi says eradicate poverty. So you make a choice, and you know what choice the voters made. 375 seats is what the Congress won in that midterm election in partnership with CPI. 4 more than what the Congress had won at any time under her father, under her late father. So once again, opposition unity did not work, and I have one more cartoon again from the same NCERT textbook to show you. This is an R.K. Lakshman cartoon that the NCERT textbook has published, saying courtesy R.K. Lakshman. And see this, Mrs. Gandhi standing at the victory on the victory podium as number 1, number 2, number 3, and you have these hapless leaders of the opposition saying, "Oh, I thought I was going to come first, you second, and this one third," right? But she's got all 3 slots. So that's the kind of election that took place at that point. And you know what? Politics is not so much about arithmetic as it's about chemistry. I know that we've all talked about index of opposition unity, but in politics, 2 plus 2 does not always make 4. The hawa or the wind has to change. So say a Janata Party could defeat Indira Gandhi because the hawa, the wind, was against her, right? Rajiv Gandhi could be defeated by the National Front or Jan Morcha plus Janata Dal, National Front, whatever, because then the hawa was against him. Narendra Modi, at this point, you don't see any evidence of the hawa being against him. So what is the lesson? That the opposition unity works only when your vote is transferable. If you look at the 2019 Lok Sabha election in Uttar Pradesh, then 2 parties who are reputed to have very strongly loyal transferable vote, that is SP and BSP, failed to transfer their own respective votes to each other. BSP failed to transfer its Dalit vote to SP candidates, and SP failed to transfer its Muslim and Yadav vote to BSP. That is the function of the popular mood. 1977, all the opposition parties, their leaders had spent time together in jail, they had gotten to know each other. They came out and they formed the Janata Party, but they had a great leader to get them together, and that was Jaiprakash Narayan. He got them together. Now, he got them together. This new party won. This was not a coalition. This was now a party. It won but did not stay together because there was too much ideological contradictions between them. So they broke apart and Mrs. Gandhi came back. After that, several other attempts were made to make more alliances. 1989, there was Jan Morcha that the VP Singh set up as he came out of the Congress party. Then there was Janata Dal. They all got together and they set up the National Front. So there was a southern leader who did lead an opposition alliance, but he did not give it the main impetus. He was not the driving force. It was VP Singh. So until then, every such alliance against a dominant national party or a national power was driven by politics of the Hindi heartland. It is the first time that we are seeing this energy or this push coming from the south. And the reason, as I told you, is easy to understand. It's the first time that we have in New Delhi a party in power with a full majority that does not get too many seats from the south at all. So the first time a party in power in Delhi with a full majority that does not own the south, if I can use that expression. And that's why we are seeing this very interesting development. So once you look at all of this and you look at the new elements in this story, you might even say that this doesn't look so boring after all.